Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Business Survival Conversations. I'm Michael Troyer, and with me is my colleague, Anna Steinfest. Hi, Anna.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Our topic for you today is how to differentiate your business and why you want to differentiate it. So we've got a number of points to offer to you to think about as you head off to work or you're driving off to see a prospective client or whenever. This is recorded, so you can find it later.
Especially right now, it's critical to make sure that you differentiate your product or service, or we should say you stand out from your competition. A lot of us, especially in the service field, we have a lot of competitors. So how do we stand out from the competitors, Michael?
Well, one first thought, and something I think we don't do enough of, and make it an intent on our part, is to ask our customers what they want. We might be surprised, and frankly, we might see our sales go up if we more commonly ask them what they'd like to help them complete their job or get their problem solved. Asking is such a powerful approach, and that means you got to walk out. You've got to find them. You've got to go see where they are, or if they're coming into a store, you walk up to them and simply ask those questions. I think sometimes we're afraid of what we're going to hear, but it's always going to be helpful, even if it's a complaint. It's always going to make us better.
I totally agree with that, Michael, because sometimes when we ask the customers even why do they even purchase our product or service, we may discover things we have not thought about, the purpose of them using our product or service, which is extremely important, not only to add additional service or additional feature to our product, but also how do we communicate or enhance our marketing to attract additional customers.
And I'm not sure who said this, but it was either Warren Buffett or Drucker, Peter Drucker, who said that people rarely buy the product you offer for the reasons you think they bought it for. So we need to know why, because we have one idea, but that's not necessarily consistent. Another point I think that we need to have in our head is that we want to find something that makes us unique and distinctive, one that separates us from the other firms who are trying to serve that same set of customers. So a good question in my mind to ask is what contribution can you make to that customer's effort that no one else has provided to them? And that takes a bit of reflection, observation.
Also, can you find a way to serve your customers like no one else is serving? You have to make sure that you understand completely how your customers are using your product and service. Once you understand the process, you will be able to identify the uniqueness. You have to dig deeper to make sure that you really uncover your uniqueness. Because if you are common on the market, you may be selling few products or few services. However, you will not have sustainable growth or even sustainable existence.
In fact, I think how often where I have a product that maybe is a little more complex and I need some instructions for it, but the instructions aren't really very good. They aren't very complete. And I end up struggling just as much with the instructions as if I didn't even have them. Or we go online to get some help, and it's a long trail of effort to find someone who can explain to us why this doesn't work. I remember my wife struggling with a credit card bill, and it's a utility bill here locally where we live, and no one could explain to her how they came up with the charges they were placing in front of us. Happy to ask us to pay $200 and some a month for our utility, but not explaining why. How can that be? And I admit that's a government agency, but a business I've seen do the same thing. Well, we don't know, but we need you to pay that amount of money. Come on, give us a little help here. Give us a little explanation. So how do you help them What are the contributions that you can make that no one else is there making? That's the key to this. If you're successful, you can attract customers that you won't have to share with anyone else because you're doing it the right way.
That's the key, Michael. Having customers that you cannot share with anyone else, because you definitely, if you answer this question, you'll be able to determine this is our unique value proposition or unique selling proposition.
Yes. What's the third point on it that we need to be thinking about here?
Well, it's a cautionary for everyone out there is never, ever compete on price alone. It's extremely important because sometimes we think, oh, we will discount our service or our product. You cannot compete on price alone because first of all, you're attracting customers who are price sensitive. And on the long run, I don't think that you'll be able to compete with some of the big stores or big consultant firms on price.
In fact, I think ultimately there's a firm out there that's going to beat you because they can produce it cheaper than you can. And then you're going to be driven out of the market. Eventually, you end up working in a commodity market where everything. How is one orange different from another orange? How is one car seat different from another car seat? Well, there might be some differences, but the point being, they're so inexpensive that it's just a commodity, and it's a very tough market to survive in. The chances of growth in that market, if you're not unique or distinctive, the chances of growth simply aren't there.
Yes, you cannot survive. Absolutely, Michael. Absolutely. For those of you who are thinking about starting a business, make sure that you identify your uniqueness prior to starting, because you'll be frustrated if you cannot identify your uniqueness.
In fact, it's probably, if you're thinking of starting a business, is to listen carefully to people's frustrations or the effort they're putting in to get something done, or other questions of that sort. If you learn to observe and listen, you'll pick up ideas for a possible business and a product you can offer that would be different, as we're focusing today, different from others that are out there, do a better job, or help solve a problem that hasn't been solved yet. And now you have a business that you can sustain. You don't have to share your customers. You have that unique niche that you're after. And you can keep asking them, how can I make it a little better? There's a car out there, I think of the small cars we all like to buy today that are really fairly large. We can put, not fairly large, but we can put family in them. The SUV, as we call them, came out of something called the Dodge Caravan, which was an invention of Chrysler Motors. And one of the smart things they did was to, for every new car buyer, they asked, how can we make this car work better for you? And for 5 to 10 years, they kept each year adding little tiny features. The concept of a place to put your coffee cup in the car, that came from the Dodge Caravan. Somebody wrote in and said, I'd like a place to put my coffee when I drive to work in the morning. Well, that helped them to continue to sell cars. It kept them unique, distinctive. It differentiated them from the other car models that were out there. And now we have a whole class of SUVs. So think how to differentiate your business and why you want to differentiate your business.
Thank you, everyone. We hope we gave you a few ideas and tips how to differentiate your business.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.